Welcome to the second month of the grief verification. This video will be covering everything from the month of June, which had 16 total streams and brought us up to 84,000 attempts. So this was a much slower month than May, especially because I wasn't able to stream as much, but the beginning progress is always faster anyway, so it was to be expected. My only goals for this month was to get the level in 3 runs, which required a 25 to 65 run, a keyboard attempt from 0, which is 35%, and another 65 to 100, because I didn't think it was time for a better run to 100 just yet. On June 1st, update 2.206 came out, if you remember, and this meant that all mods were now broken. Most importantly, click between frames was unusable. You are able to download an older version of GD, and I did end up doing this with 2.204, but before I did that, I wanted to try a stream without CBF or Mega Hack or any of the mods to just see how well I could do. We got new update that actually dropped in the day that he said, which is I'm actually pretty surprised. I think actually the worst part is that I don't have smart star position. Because okay, so what I was thinking, like I have to manually place the star positions and shit, right? I guess I could disable, or I could just enable certain ones. Actually, that makes more sense because these are all disabled. So okay, so I can't even do this. I am not warmed up, to be fair. Like I can't even do this part. What? Nah. This is just me not being warmed up. I mean, it's not like click between frames isn't like that overpowered. Like that where I can't do this. Nah. The wave trail's fucked. Still, I think the normal wave is mostly fine. I think also it just doesn't look as smooth because it's like if you look closely, you can see like there's like little sections that like are not like it's not just like a straight line. You know what I mean? You're not obviously noticing it, but like it still just makes it look dumb. And then mini wave is just fucked completely. But yeah, wave is so clean to play in 2.1, and now it makes it so much less clean to play, which actually was like heartbreaking. I can't even lie. So we got to see if we can do it. This fucking trail, oh my god. It's so bad. What is this? There we go. First time we did that with that fucking CBF. So now I know I never would be able to verify this without click between frames. So we verified that. We verified that I can't verify. It's the only thing that's getting verified today. There we go. I mean, it's partially because I'm used to CBF. Like, I could play Slaughterhouse or something. I could play anything else. Fine. Oh, because on both of those waves. Bro, it's actually like way harder than I expected it to be without CBF. Like, it's actually possible. So I passed grief for like 3 times. I passed grief for like a few times and I was playing it for like an hour. So it turned out that there's no chance this is ever getting verified without CBF. So next stream I got 2.204 back and continued as normal, which I just called stream 20 as well. I won't lie, I don't even count that last stream as an actual stream. June 3rd is what I consider the actual stream 20 and start to month 3. I noticed that whenever this guy Alex Thatch showed up in my chat, a lot of people would be like, yo, that's the Tetris guy. So eventually I asked more about it, and it turns out he's actually a world record holder and just won the Tetris World Championship of 2024. Stop. Yo, Alex Thatch, think of the wait, is that 100? Yo, Alex Thatch, so what do you do, bro? Like every time you're in chat or something, people just like know who you are. Little competitive Tetris player. Is he actually top 1 Tetris player? That's crazy. That's actually hella cool, I can't lie. At this time, I was going for the mid-run, 25 to 65. I was mainly just focusing on that. And I got up to 51 twice, which was a really hard wave gap for me at the time. I would die to it a lot. In general, Mercury's part was a big choke point for me. And by the way, this part is no longer going to be referred to as River like I did in the last video. Because contrary to what I had thought, River actually has no decoration in this part. So this is now Mercury rather than River. You can now take a new screenshot of this whole chart here. But yeah, I was dying to this part a shit ton. A part that I rarely ever died to though was Cuber's part. Specifically, the consistency spam waves. Something like this at 3 times speed is pretty trivial for top players. So after I got used to the teleport transitions, I literally just never died here. I had experimented with some buffs here before, but they were all terrible ideas. But here is when I finally thought of something that might work. So off stream I experimented with like a little buff. that we can maybe do. So I just wanted to try, because this part obviously is pretty free. So I kind of added these spikes here, and then it kind of looks like that. So originally, like, this is kind of the gap, and then now we got kind of like that. And yeah, see, like, maybe I should actually add those fucking spikes the mini spikes. Like, I'm too good at the level. I feel like it's too fat. It's too early to be this good at it. Earlier in the stream, before I made this buff to Cuber, I got 35 to 73, which is still one of my longest runs, and 25 to 54 as well. Oh my god, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Are we dead ass, bro? On the next stream, I got to Burgadaz for 25, dying at 61%. Fuck, I knew I clicked shit too late. Why, bro? The Cuber buff didn't end up being that bad because it kind of just went with my click pattern. And later on, I buffed it ever so slightly to make the side spikes a bit bigger. And Cuber's part became on par with the hard parts. Maybe that was a mistake though, because I used to find this part pretty fun, but you know. It's grief. Okay, another great thing about 2.2 is that the dual icons are actually misaligned by a few pixels. As you can see in the screenshot, the bottom cube collides with the spike before the top does, but in 2.1, they're aligned perfectly. I got no idea how RobTop messed this up, but here's how I discovered it on stream. Oh my god, what is this? I don't understand, bro. Where is the fucking bottom cube at? This game is just bad. So you're dead down here, but you're not right here. Like they're not aligned, I guess. Is the fucking players not aligned? Like maybe these guys are just off. Maybe that's it. Nah, how would that even work? Draw a line here. So let's do from like not the center. Let's just do here. Yeah. Oh wow. How? So it's the players that aren't aligned correctly. Maybe if I don't ignore X and I put them on the same X, then it could work. Let's try that. That probably didn't work, but maybe that worked actually. It's interesting. Why is that even a thing? Probably platformer bullshit. Alright, that seems better. Really weird stuff there, and the fix I did broke the music sync the next day, so I just reverted it, because it's not that big of a deal for this level. Anyway, I kept going for 25 to 65, and it was getting pretty annoying because it took a lot longer than expected, but on stream 27, I got to 65 from 25. It was a bit disappointing that I died immediately after doing the run, but whatever. I finally did the level in 3 runs and can move on. From here on out, progress got quite slow and not much new was happening. I didn't really know what to do with myself while playing the level because I didn't have anything to lock in on like I had with 65 to 100 or getting to the drop from 0 or 25 to 65. It took a few streams to finally get back on my feet and start doing shit. I passed Griefer all the way back from 49, dying at 79, and on the same day I finally got a new best by 1%. What? Wait. And the reason this says 31% is because I'll just have myself on stream explain it. Because 2.2% is different, but I have the percentage bug fixed, but I guess it doesn't actually. It says it will not alter your new best percentages. So I have 28. I kind of lost track of the fact I wanted to do 65 to 100 again, so I put some focus on that and got 65 to 97. Very unfortunate. But yo, look, I got past Griefer from 49 again. Oh my god. And yo, look, I'm at the drop. Hopefully I get a new best. Oh my god. I really wanted to have at least 30% in the title though, so I was definitely less happy with getting the 1% progress. Now at this point, it looks like I'm on pace to do some good runs and potentially complete the goal for this month. However, after stream 32, I couldn't stream for 5 days straight. This may not seem that bad, but the previous streams were already regularly spaced apart by a few days, which isn't ideal for keeping momentum. But more importantly, the 5-day gap was at the very end of the month, meaning I had to regain all my momentum in like 3 days if I wanted to complete my goals. And this level is not like any other, where I can just pick up where I left off either. Even a single day off can be bad, but any more than 2 is definitely bad. Even worse for me, I knew the whole rest of the month was busy during my normal stream time, so I made sure to stream earlier to make up for this on the days I could. And if you're wondering why I was so busy at the end of June, I had prom and graduation shit, and then little things in between got caught in the mix. For this unlucky sequence of events, I guess, for grief. Just for grief though, because everything was fun, so at least it was worth it. Except meeting Shrek, that was not fun. He stole my grief copy, so expect some progress reports from him soon. Anyway, on June 27th, after graduating high school, I came back, and as expected, I didn't do much, although I passed Griefer from 56 and 47. Oh my god, what? Oh my god, I can't get anywhere every time I get there, bro. If you've noticed, passing Griefer from 56 and before became something I was doing regularly, I don't know, I can't say that word, sorry. But I discovered that the tacos wave was impossible, bro, from these long ass runs. As you can see, whenever I mention I passed Griefer, I always died at 79 and 80, which is at the first clicks of that wave. Because of this, my new mini goal was to pass the tacos wave from 56, which I did on stream 34, getting to 86%. Oh my fucking god, dude. I could have easily gotten to the last part, so this actually kind of sucked dying to something that dumb. Regardless, it was a very good run, and I also got 65 to 94. Still couldn't get 65 to 100, but I was getting to the end from 65 pretty casually at this point. I couldn't get a drop attempt this stream, but got really close, dying to 23%. Oh my fucking god. On my last grief stream of the month, I got to the drop again, but unfortunately, I died to the first click at 26%. Oh my god. I couldn't get a 65 to 100 again either. So out of the 3 goals, I only completed 1. Not being able to stream much at the end of the month was the biggest problem, but there's not much I could really do. The version of Grief throughout June definitely didn't change as much as in May, but there were some major changes. Unlike the last progress report video, I'm going to dedicate this next section to showcasing all of the differences between the current version of the level and the version I had at the end of May, instead of trying to show all the nerfs and buffs I made in the middle of the video. So firstly, this devious S spike I added at the first gap was removed. It just looks stupid and was unnecessary and didn't really add much to the difficulty for me either. The next change is all the way at 31% in Triple Ash's part. I moved these saws much closer together because I thought it was a free gap before, and my click pattern just happened to align with this buff. At Cuber, obviously I did the side spikes buff in the consistency spam waves, but I also buffed the middle of Cuber. Originally I wanted to move this saw down so that this gap was tighter, making the transition into the big portal more consistent. It worked pretty well, but I also had to manipulate the hitbox of the big portal, so now you could really enter it as consistently as possible. But also to even out the rest of the saws, I just buffed both of the gaps by moving the first saw down and the second saw up. At the start of Iris, I added a small saw here, so you're forced to do the first click in 1 click instead of 2. There's a few reasons I did this, but mainly I just think it's a cool click. Later in Iris, at 48%, I removed this big invisible block, so you have to go high up in the ball portal to land on the platform moving in. This transition gimmick was in the layout, and I thought it was a cool click as well, that got lost in decorations, so I just added it back. In Mercury, I moved the saws and portals around at 51% to buff the black orb click, which you now have to hit really late. In Burgadaz, I completely removed this yellow gravity portal at 62% because it was so awkward, and that was literally the only way to fix it. It's pretty free now, but whatever, I'm okay with it. At the very last click before the second drop, I made it so that both player 1 and player 2 have to jump, instead of just player 1 like it was before. I mentioned in the previous progress report video that I buffed this click to make it more climactic by adding this saw. I figured this would make it quite a bit more climactic, but still not super annoying because it's still easy, kind of. Well, this is my way of making it even more climactic, because now you have to click with both inputs. Griefer's part actually did have some buffs, believe it or not, multiple of them. Firstly, I noticed that these 2 clicks at 68 and 70 felt harder in the layout than in the current version. I mean, there's a whole ass saw here missing. So I investigated it further and found that both clicks were actually easier by 1 step. And the extra saw actually didn't do anything because the spike was already here, but I included it anyway. I only ended up buffing this small saw here by scaling it up to the amount it was in the layout. I didn't move the saws the 1 step that it was nerfed by because I just didn't feel like messing with my muscle memory at this point. But I did keep the buff at 70% and I like it a lot. At 74%, I also buffed this last saw gap by moving the bottom saw up 4 steps. I actually only made this buff because on stream 20, I promised for every $5 I would buff something by 1 step. So Vortrox and Crafty Masterman donated a total of $20 to have me buff this gap by 4 steps. To make up for all these griefer buffs, I nerfed this gap at 69% by moving these slopes up. Another stream 20 buff included the last 2 clicks of the tacos wave at 81, another donation buff. I had to move this guy up here down 4 steps and it created this gap, which looks really hard. Because of this though, I also nerfed the saw at 80 by moving it down a step because I did die to it a lot and I still kind of do. Later in the month, I decided to buff this gap by moving the top structure down because for some reason my muscle memory always had me releasing super early here, so I figured I might as well buff to my click pattern. At 83%, this green orb was always super inconsistent because you had to hit it at a really awkward time. So I made it less awkward and more skill based by just making it a harder gap but not killing you if you clear it. And at the very end of tacos, I added these helper blocks to make the last spam more consistent. At the last part, all of the changes are in the 90 wave and there's a few of them. I found the 90% release to feel unfair, but discovered that making it a normal slope hitbox rather than a spike slope hitbox completely solve this problem, so I did just that. I also buffed the 91% club step monster by moving the blocks closer together, and buffed the last part of the wave by moving this whole structure down a bit. And that's it for the changes. That's where Grief stands today. Hopefully July will be a bit better. Currently trying to get to Iris and possibly 56 to 100. When I wrote this part, it says both are pretty ambitious, but it really doesn't seem that ambitious now. Sorry for the spoilers, bro. If you're just watching the videos, my bad. I'll try my best to actually complete my goals this time. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.